Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 2 of Beyond the Devastation. Today is Wednesday, October 6th already. We thank God for another opportunity. My name is John Perez, and I am the host of Beyond the Devastation. Today, we were supposed to have my good friend Robert on from episode 1, but pray for Robert that everything turns out all right. So today I decided to fly solo because I thought today would be a really good day to kind of set the atmosphere and the benchmark is why Beyond the Devastation? Why is this name so important? And I wanted to share a little bit and give you an understanding of where it came from, how it was developed, and where the show really, we hope that will morph into and we will deal with these issues. So I am a pastor and been one now for about almost 6 years. Married to the lovely, vivacious, gorgeous Paula Perez, who is my soulmate. And a couple of years ago, I did a sermon series called Beyond the Devastation. And it was really dealing from my own personal devastations in my life. It was the loss of a family because I went through a divorce in 2008. It was not being with my kids every single day like I was used to for the time that they were growing up. The devastation of losing job after job, the devastation of being abused as a child. And all of these things made up or comprised Beyond the Devastation. And today I really wanted to give you a glimpse and kind of behind the scenes of why this is so important. And as you saw last week, we talked to Robert about the mental health crisis in the church. And it's really an epidemic because it's really gone to the extremes where we're really trying to get a hold of it. And it's really out of control. It's like a fire out of control. But for me, I wanted to kind of give you some background that maybe you don't know who I am. And maybe some of you have heard of me, but maybe you want to know a little bit about my life story. So here it is. I'm not going to be on here all night. But I wanted to take 10 or 15 minutes to kind of give you an intro into the show. So Beyond the Devastation, we're going to be dealing with people who've been incarcerated and they've been liberated. People who have dealt with mental illness and have been liberated. People who have been lost and been divorced, lost a loved one, have cancer, have all of these things. And in the devastation, they found strength. In the devastation, they found that they could survive. And that's really a point of where I want to talk to you guys about today. Devastation. I can bring you through, many of you might have experienced a breakup of a marriage or a breakup of a relationship, how devastating that could be. Well, in 2007, I began the process. 2008, it was February 26th, 2008, about 3:30 in the afternoon, that my divorce was final. But it was devastating because I had to liquidate a house. I had to move out of the house where my children and I were living. I had to regroup and really trying to find and live on my own for the first time as an adult. And it was devastating. I was paying child support and then trying to pay rent. If you've ever been through that, it's devastating when you're not prepared for all of these changes in your life. And then I've talked to over the years, even especially with this pandemic going on, how people have been devastated with the loss of a loved one and not been able to even touch them, even be with them. They've had to do it on Zoom and say goodbye to mom or dad or their uncle, their auntie, their grandmother or their grandfather, and they haven't been able to be in the room and at least get closure to the problem. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to bring to you, because I believe these are the kind of events in the life and the people that can help others know that you can make it. You can rebound. You can do great things. You can move mountains. And in my personal life, I told you, I've suffered divorce. I've suffered the separation of my children. I have three beautiful children, and it's Samantha, who's the oldest, Caitlin, who's my middle child, and Matthew, who's my son. And I think, let me see if I can share this. Yep, I have it. So let me just put this up for you, because I told them I was going to put it up today. So I want to make sure. Well, I might have to do it later, but on this weekend, my middle child's getting married, and it's a big event. And let me see if I can put her up here on the screen so you can take a look at her. So my baby girl's getting married on this Saturday in Pine Bush, where she owns a home with her fiance Michael, and they are getting married this Saturday at 4 p.m. And for a dad, it's interesting, but she's launching now and going into her own family, forming her own family. Soon they'll have their own kids. And my prayer has always been, please do better than what I did, do greater than what I did, and live a better life than what you sometimes were shown. Because I think that if we don't do a better job with our kids, that was always been the devastating part for me, that my kids saw things in our relationship that I didn't want them to experience divorce, experience some arguments that they should have never been exposed to. We don't realize the impact to our kids until they grow up and they become adults and then go into their own relationships. And those relationships, they carry the baggage of what they saw. So if they were in a healthy home, in a healthy environment, and saw mom and dad handle problems and situations well, guess what happens when they get older? They know how to do. But if they saw turmoil, if they saw craziness, if they saw just out and out wars, guess what's going to happen sometimes when they go into they're carrying that baggage. So beyond the devastation, how do we get beyond it? That's really the key. And for me, I found that we need help with those professionals that know how to do this best. And that's mental health professionals. That's why I wanted to introduce you to Robert. We're going to also have you talk to, we're going to have Dr. Barnes, who's going to talk about her experiences in treating children in her practice. And we're going to have her on in a couple weeks. We're going to have someone who's been incarcerated and lost everything, but is getting everything back slowly but surely. Beyond the devastation. My hope and prayer is that you'll join us either live or watch it on demand, and that you'll tell your friends, because I believe that what we have here is going to be impactful. It's going to change lives. It's going to help people get through. Because if I can touch one person and let them know that beyond their devastation, they can make it, then I've done my job. And I really want to encourage everyone today to stay focused. You've been hurt. You've been down. But as I tell my friends this, look, you're broken, but you're repairable. You're broken, but you're repairable. And in that, there's hope. There's hope beyond the devastation. And I really wanted to just let that be my message today, that there's hope beyond the devastation, and that you can really understand that you can make it. from a trauma standpoint, look, being abused as a child by relatives was hard. And I really didn't deal with it until I was an adult. But I never could understand why I was so angry, why I was so upset, why I was the way I was wired. It wasn't until I had the opportunity to talk to somebody who was in the mental health field that could help me really unbox what was going on in my mind. And once I got that, I got beyond the devastation of it. So I'm really hoping that as we talk and as we have these casual conversations, as I bring on experts, as I, weekly talk about some of the things I've been through, I'm hoping that you too can get beyond the devastation. And I'm hoping that people will grow. And what we're going to do, we're looking to aim that we're going to have a call in, that we're going to put a number out there. And if you want to talk to some of these healthcare professionals, we're going to have you that you can dial in and you can ask your questions live and be able to talk to them while they're on with us live. And you can ask your question. They can give you an answer. You can do it in the chat. We're really going to use as much technology as we possibly can to reach those beyond the devastation. I want to talk to people that have survived the flood. I want to talk to people that have survived cancer. I want to talk to people that have been able to make great lives after losing a spouse or losing a child. That's beyond the devastation. So I wanted to set the framework today for what the podcast is going to be dealing with. Sometimes we'll have a guest, sometimes we won't. Sometimes we'll just be one-on-one. So I want you to share this with your friends, your family. Listen, because the word I want you to leave with you today is hope. There's hope beyond the devastation. There's hope beyond the things you've suffered. There's hope beyond the trauma. And if you're willing to get help, it will change your life. I know in the Black and brown culture, it is a hard thing to get help. We're weak. You're not weak. Men don't cry. Yes, they do. Men don't need help. And again, I'll reiterate what I heard from a doctor that I had on when I was doing some stuff early on in the pandemic. He said, John, imagine this, that the biggest organ that we have in our bodies, our brain, is the least that we talk to a doctor about. Wow. The least we talk to a doctor about. So with that being said, I want to leave you with this word again, hope. I want to encourage you that you can make it. I want to encourage you that you can survive. As time goes on, I'll give you a little bit more here and a little bit more of what I've been through. And I've survived. And I've got the scars to prove it. But I've got a great life now. I got 3 great kids. I'm getting a son-in-law on Saturday. The family is expanding. And we're just grateful to God that we're still here. So, hope. Hope. If you're a friend, if you've got me on LinkedIn, just drop me a line if you want to talk about hope. If you've got me on Facebook, drop me a line. Let's talk about hope. But I want to encourage you today that hope is the game changer. Hope is the game changer. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for sharing. And let me share with you and be in your living rooms or on your phones for these last 15 minutes. And I'm going to play my favorite song now on the way out. So give me one moment to bring it back up. And here we go.